Okay, so I'm going to take you through some of the features of the Hydro Power RO unit here. I want to show you some of the dash features, all the readouts that it gives you, all the information it gives you. This is a particularly good point to show you some of the stats because the resin filter needs to be changed. It's hit the red on the meter. This is the first change I've had of the resin filter. So we'll show you what the stats say, and I'll show you some of the features of the machine as well, an overview of how everything works. So we've got everything set up here. The readout on the machine is telling us that we need to connect it to the water, the drainage out the back, release the pressure from those buttons and turn it to green, in which case it will do a pre-flush before we start. But at this point, if we just press the enter button there, it brings up the menu, the main menu. So we can see the different information we've got here, that we can just scroll through the menu, the different options you've got there, and time and date you can change. Okay, now what I really want to show you is this information here. Okay, it tells us all the information from the machine. So volumes, it tells us the total tap water that we've used, the total pure water that's come out, which is really good information. Averages, we have quite hard water around here. That reading there is the average hard water coming in, the average output, so that's there. Filter changes, okay, so it's had no filter changes yet. Oh, it dates it when they were last changed, look at that. Okay, cycles run time, so it tells you how many flushes it's had, how many cycles, bypasses. I think that's when you bypass a flush at the end. I'll show you how that works in a minute. And the pump time, how long it's been running for. So we've had the machine for about 2 to 3 months, and we don't use it all day every day. We use it for big window cleaning jobs, certain customers, big fascia jobs, bits and pieces like that, conservatory roofs. We've got a really big job coming up next week, so I want to make sure all the filters are changed as well. Okay, so that's all the readouts it gives you. So we just press the button there to take us back to the menu. Now in this setting we can look at all the filters, when they are last changed. So we're going to change the DI filter. So that's the menu there. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn on the water supply. I just use this extra little attachment so I can control it from this end. I don't have to go all the way back to the tap. Another thing I found about some of these metal hose lock couplings, I was using a plastic one first of all, like this one here, and putting it directly on there, and it kept popping off. The plastic to metal doesn't seem to get on very well, it kept popping off. So I'm using this, making sure I've got a metal attachment onto there, and I've had no issues with it at all. There's not even a drop of water that comes out there at all. You don't have to have this extra connection like that, it's just the way I like to use it. And also on the back here, notice the exit, the water, overflow water. I've just put the metal hose attachment on there so that I can attach a different length of hose depending on where I want it to overflow into. If there's a nearby drain or garden, flower bed or something like that, I can put a different length of hose on there and make sure it overflows to somewhere where it won't cause a problem or an issue. So once we've got the machine, water's coming through, we make sure that there's no air in the system by just pressing these on the tops of the filters. We've got the pole hose connected as well. So then all we need to do once that is set is we just switch it to green. The system will do a purge, which takes just 2 minutes, which is not very long. It's no problem at all. Okay, system stabilising. Okay, now this is an interesting readout, just tells you the status of the filters. And now we can see that the DI meter is down to orange. It was actually on red the other day, it needs changing. We can see that it's reading 27 parts per million on the output. So yeah, that definitely needs changing. We can see the other filters are still running fine on green, and we can see the RO as well. We can see the purity coming into the RO membranes and then the output. And the meter still on full. So that's really good. The pressure reading, we can see what pressure it's putting out as well. So it's not quite 8 bar, but 110 psi pressure output. So usually what we do when we're working with it is we usually just turn this to the middle when we're working. With that we can have a little bit of control over what pressure we're putting out as well. So if we want to reduce the pressure, we can see the gauge. If we want to increase the pressure, we can just notch it that way a little bit and the pressure will increase again, but just depends what we're working on and how we want to work. I usually find a little bit more pressure helps us work a bit faster, encourages us to work a bit faster, so we usually like to use good pressure. Also, when we're working, if we turn this all the way to red, it will do a flush, a cleaning flush at the end of the time of working. But if you want to bypass that, which we saw in the stats just now, we can bypass that by just pressing the stop button, in which case we can stop working. I'll just turn off the water with this valve, the water supply. So we'll stop working for any period if we're having a break or whatever we're doing. Then we can turn the water back on and we can resume work without it doing all that flush and pre-flush. We can just resume work again straight away. So it's a couple of really handy little features there. So to shut down the machine, just turn it all the way to red. You can see now it's going to do this system shutdown and a membrane flush. So it just helps keep the system in tip-top condition, ready for next time. I hope you found that helpful to go over some of the features and functions of the Hydro Power RO system there. Thanks for watching. You can see more videos of us using the machine on my channel, so check that out, and I hope to see you again soon.